Welcome back to the Hall of Origins. The 10th anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's is still going strong, so today let's take a look at the franchise's most popular character. When the original game launched, there was one member of the Fazbear gang that fans immediately latched onto, Foxy the Pirate Fox. And it was easy to see why. His features were much more unique than the other characters, with his slimmed down body design, a hook for a hand, an eye patch, and his very distinctive predator attributes. Not to mention, he's the most aggressive. So let's take a look at the fan favorite, Foxy. When coming up with Foxy, creator Scott Cawthon said that he wanted to have a separate character off on a side stage by himself. When thinking what type of animal the fourth character should be, he was debating between a wolf, a fox, and a beaver. The beaver was the closest to the final choice of making it into the game, but Scott thought it was too close to Chipper from his previous game, so he decided against it and chose to make the character a fox. Foxy has himself cloistered in Pirate's Cove, and right away you can notice the out of order sign. This implies that Foxy is in a state of repair, and it's quite obvious when you look at him. He's noticeably more neglected than the other animatronics, which kind of makes sense with his out of order status. It almost looks like the staff is currently working on him with how his legs are exposed, and that's why he doesn't have leg casings like all the other characters. So during the game, Foxy doesn't work like the other animatronics. He hangs out in Pirate's Cove, and every now and then you will see him start to emerge. When you switch to the camera feed and see that he's not there anymore with the curtains open, that means he's coming for you. If you then switch to Cam 2A, Foxy will be running towards your location in real time. If you don't close the door fast enough, you get jump scared. But if you do, Foxy will bang on it, draining some of its power. This whole running at the door thing is what made Foxy so famous, because when you look at everyone else, they all stay stationary, and here's Foxy actually running down the hallway. I know it made me jump the first time I experienced it. Foxy does have a certain sound cue that is unique to him though. Every now and then you can hear him singing. It doesn't really mean anything, it's just to let you know that he's around. But speaking of sounds, let's talk about that iconic sound that the characters make when they jump scare you. The sound actually comes from the 1981 sci-fi horror movie, Inseminoid. This movie is kind of like Alien, where a woman gets impregnated by a creature from another planet and a whole bunch of killing ensues. But the scream in question comes from the scene where the character Sandy gives birth to the alien. If you played FNAF enough, you can at once identify that scream. I wonder if actress Judy Geeson, who played Sandy, knows that her voice was used for one of the most iconic screams in video games. Like, if someone met her at a convention and asked her to sign something Five Nights at Freddy's oriented, would she know the context of it? Huh. But back to Foxy. A few months later, the second installment was released where Foxy's appearance is now more beat up than he was prior. This is because brand new versions of the band are now on stage, leaving Foxy and the other original characters to be thrown in the back room to be used for spare parts. In this withered appearance, Foxy now has a more triangular shaped snout, and wow, a lot more teeth. Phone Guy reveals that Foxy and the older model animatronics have a glitch where if you flash your light at them, they will become disoriented. And this is exactly how you fend off Foxy. When you see him at the end of the hall, flash your light at him, and he will leave after a while. If you don't do this in time... And even though it's never explained why, when you put on the Freddy mask, it won't stop Foxy. He sees right through it. Now, it's revealed later on in the franchise that the child's soul inside of Foxy is a boy named Fritz. But during the events of the third game, you are given the chance to set his soul, as well as all the others, free during a minigame known as the Happiest Day. I would like to point out around this time was the beginning of FNAF merchandise. People had been wanting it since the first game's release, and Sanchi was willing to oblige. The one item that seemed to create the most buzz was the Sanchi Foxy plush. Everyone wanted this cute little guy. Heck, I even made a commercial about it way back when. Remember that?
Hey there, friend. The Foxy plushie by Sanchi. I'm in no way associated with Sanchi, I just really love their plushie. It's cute, it's plushy, it's adorable, you'll love it. And it won't make that sound in the middle of the night. Yep, that's the one right there. Buy yours today.
Good times, right? But back in the video games, Foxy still continued to thrive, with his next appearance being in FNAF World. Foxy serves as one of your starter characters. He has 3 attacks: Hook, Jump Scare, and Hot Cheese. Hook is simply a basic attack, Jump Scare confuses your opponents for a little while, and Hot Cheese will gradually lower the life of the enemy. When the Halloween update was released, Foxy had 2 games where he played a prominent role. Foxy.exe, where he drones over Bonnie while walking to the right.
Listen to my voice, and you will find the key.
And that voice that you hear is Mark Mattel.
When you can see, how fast can you flee?
And Foxy Fighters, a side-scrolling shooter where Foxy and team must battle the mechanical menace from the Pilgrim's Progress, Souldozer. And in this game, Jesse Adams provides his voice.
Souldozer! I should have known it was you! You're not even in the right game!
After this, Foxy didn't show back up again until Ultimate Custom Night. And it's kinda weird, because with him standing in Pirate's Cove, gradually stepping out from it, you would think that he would work the same way as he did in the original game. But in this, when he leaves Pirate's Cove, pieces of him will start to appear in your office. And when he's complete, he'll jump scare you. I must say, it's really bizarre just seeing his lower half standing there. But we are introduced to Christopher McCullough as Foxy's next voice actor.
Arrgh, you never stood a chance!
Now, Christopher is no stranger when it comes to voices in the franchise. Previously, he voiced Fredbear in FNAF World.
Voice acting? No! He's gone too far this time!
And Vlad in Sister Location.
Clara, I tell you, the baby isn't mine!
When Help Wanted came around, one of the most memorable tasks you had to perform was the Parts and Services segment, in which you had to repair the original game's animatronics. For Foxy, all of his parts have become erratic, because his power modules have gone bad. You pass the challenge when you put all of them in correctly. If you put the wrong one in the wrong place, Foxy will disappear and then dart at you from the dark background. Foxy would also appear in his own Dark Ride, where he takes on the role of Captain Foxy. He instructs you on how to play the game, and then you are set loose into the ride to get the highest score you can, on a bunch of cutout characters that all have glowing targets. Up next, Foxy appeared as a playable character in Freddy in Space 2. In this game, Foxy is being held captive in the lunar mines, and once you beat the boss, Franken-Foxy, he can now be a playable character. His thing is he can jump higher than the others on the team, and his weapon of choice is the flamethrower, which he can use underwater for some reason. You know, video game logic, that kind of thing. When Special Delivery came around, just like the other characters, Foxy was given a few creative skins: Radioactive Foxy, Ringleader Foxy, and Big Bad Foxy. I actually really like Big Bad Foxy. They needed to do more with that design, like bring him back in some way. Now, in the lead up to Security Breach, Steel Wool released some animated shorts called Freddy and Friends on Tour. In these shorts, Foxy serves as the antagonist, chasing the crew around and being unmasked like a Scooby-Doo villain. But in the last episode, he joins the band as an accordion player. Heading back to space, we have Freddy in Space 3, Chica in Space. In this sequel to the second installment, you can unlock Foxy after beating Buff Helpy in the Mean Cavern. His standard weapon is a blaster, but his special move can turn him into Nightmare Foxy, which doubles the damage he delivers and increases his speed. Stepping over to the live-action movie, Foxy is quite different from the other character suits, in which Foxy does not have a suit actor. This is because he has a much skinnier frame that a performer could not fit inside of. Not to mention his legs are basically just poles, so there's really no place for an actor's legs to go. But 6 puppeteer performers brought Foxy to life. The main puppeteer was Russ Walco, and longtime FNAF voice actor Kellen Goff provided his voice. Yeah, Foxy is actually the only animatronic with voice lines. Well, more like the singing that Foxy is known for. Even though he goes unnamed in the movie, the child's soul inside of Foxy is played by actor Asher Colton Spence. When it comes to the scenes that stand out, Foxy has quite a few. At the beginning of the movie, he pursues the security guard and corners him at the end of the hallway. There's the moment with the character Jeff who can't get the exit door to open, and Foxy rushes him and presumably ends him with a hook slash. And then there's the arcade scene where Abby is hiding from Foxy and takes refuge in a ball pit. But you know what's cool? With Foxy not having an actual performer inside the suit, it actually makes him the most animatronic out of all of them. Because, well, kind of, that's pretty much what he is. And that's really awesome when you think about it. Foxy has been a fan favorite of the franchise ever since the beginning, and it's easy to see why. He's such a cool character, and even though the story and the video games have moved on from him, I hope he still continues to thrive in this franchise.
Arr, I came for ye booty. That be treasure, you know.